Okay, everybody. So this is kind of an interesting experiment we're doing. I am live on three different platforms at the same time. So those of you who are watching me on YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok, welcome. Welcome to Red True Crime. So I want to make sure that everybody can hear me because I'm not sure if I can be heard right now. So I just want to make sure everybody can hear me. And if you cannot, please let me know because that would be very, very important. So, all right. So if you've looked at the description, you're going to see the names Carmelo Anthony, not the NBA star, and you're going to see the name Austin Metcalf. And if any of you have been following the news, you know about the tragedy that took place in Frisco, Texas 2 days ago. Kid tragedies, high school tragedies are something I hate talking about, but unfortunately they happen. And unfortunately, we have to discuss these things. These are things we have to talk about. This case, no one wins in this case. There's victims on both sides. It just really is. It's just awful to talk about this. So before we go into it, let me first thank you for joining Red True Crime. I'm Rebecca. This is my channel, and this is where we talk about crime, old crime, present crime, crazy crime, historical crime. If it's a crime, we talk about it. So okay. So 2 days ago, so that would have been April 2nd. Uh, There was a high school track meet in Frisco, Texas. You had lots of schools there. Kids were doing their thing. They were running. They're throwing things. They do what they do at these track meets. Lo and behold, it's Texas. It's hot. A guy by the name of Carmelo Anthony, not the NBA player, goes into a tent that does not belong to his school. Now, why he went there, it's been back and forth. Some say he just went in there to start trouble. Some say he got permission from one of his coaches to go in there and talk to one of his friends. We don't know. But we do know is that Austin Metcalf took issue with him being in there and said, "Hey, you don't go to the school. You don't belong here. Get out." And now at that point, we have got some discrepancy as to who said what and what happened after that point. Some say Carmelo mouthed off and said, "Make me leave. I dare you. Touch me, I dare you." These type of things. That is one thing that has been supposedly said. Um, Another thing has been um, Carmelo didn't do anything. He was being shoved around. It turned into a free for all. But the end of the story is at some point, Carmelo Anthony pulls out a knife, a very large knife, out of a backpack that he had with him. And he uses that knife and plunges it into the heart of Austin Metcalf. Austin Metcalf falls to the ground, bleeds out, and dies in the arms of his twin brother Hunter. That is the end result of this altercation. So, those of you that are now joining, I can go over again what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the Carmelo Anthony, Austin Metcalf track tragedy that happened 2 days ago in Frisco, Texas. That is what I'm talking about. If you have already not signed up or follow me or like me or whatever on any of my channels, please do that now. Subscribe to YouTube, follow me on Facebook, or like and follow me on TikTok. I'm everywhere. I try to be anyway. Um, so yeah, 17-year-old Austin Metcalf died on that field. Over what? That's the question. That is the question. Now it has come out. Police have come out and said that Carmelo admitted, "I'm not alleged killer. I did kill him. I stabbed him." Um, Then we have Carmelo also being quoted by the police saying, "Can I claim self-defense for this?" There's that. And then we have people who said that, Austin Metcalf and his twin brother Hunter were bullying this guy, and he was afraid for himself, afraid for his own safety, and he, brought that knife to protect himself. And then there's some that say they didn't even go to the same school, so why was he afraid of it? Why was that happening? So many different things. I don't know if we're ever gonna know the true reason why that boy had a knife on him, but he has now been charged with first-degree murder. And for those of you who don't understand the legality of first degree and second degree, first degree is all about intent. Like, you intended to stab him and kill him. Like that, your point was to kill him. Second degree is okay, yeah, you stabbed him, but your intent was not to kill. It's basically comes down to intent. And because he's admitted, yes, I'm not alleged, I did do this. They are implying intent there. So I'd like to hear your thoughts on it, everybody. Do you think this is a race thing? Do you think this is a bullying thing? Do you think, you know, what are the thoughts on this? Because this seems like a massive overreaction. Because the people who are on the side of Austin Metcalf said this guy did too much, this guy overreacted. It didn't get like that. And those on the side of Carmelo Anthony said he was afraid for his life. It was five guys on him. He didn't know what to do. But he had to get that knife out of his backpack. He had to walk away from these people to get that knife. So I don't know if I buy that he was a free for all and that he was afraid for himself. I don't know if I buy that. But he came from a good family. Both parents in the home, very present. He had two jobs. He worked all the time. He was a straight A student. These are all good things. So what makes a student with all those attributes do what he did? Could it have been that he was afraid for his life? Or could it have been he had a complete mental breakdown and did something, like, the pressure got to him and he just couldn't take it anymore. I don't know. I really don't know. So, I know both families have lost children. Austin Metcalf is dead, and Carmelo Anthony is looking at life in prison for what he did. And make that make sense. This case is going to be all over the press. It's gonna bring up racial divide, it's gonna be a political topic, it's gonna bring up bullying, high school, it's gonna bring up the black culture, it's gonna bring up the white culture about who hates who. I don't know if any of that really plays a difference in any of this, because yes, Austin was white, and yes, Carmelo is black. I heard one podcaster today talk about how it was rap music that is the downfall of the black community, and that is what caused, in his opinion, Carmelo to act the way he did. If you go down that road, then you have to go down the road of, vicious video games, violent TV, all that. So where does it end? Where does accountability come into play here? You know, not everybody, um, you can't blame pop culture for why somebody does something. You really can't. So, but I like to put it out there that at this point, I do a lot of these videos, and if you like what I have to say, and if you want to follow more, please go to my YouTube channel, Red True Crime. You can always join me here on TikTok. You can always find me on Facebook under Rebecca Reinersman Ingram. I am there. That is my personal channel. But let me know what you guys think. Do you think, this was intentional, or do you think this was, the kid overreacted and wanted to get away from them, but went too far? I mean, let me know what you all think because This is heartbreaking. Like I said, both families lost somebody. One family lost a child permanently, and the other one most likely has as well, depending on what type of sentence he gets. But he's going to get some type of prison time. He really is. And it's just a shame. None of that should have happened. So, okay. Well, like I said before, my name is Rebecca. This is my channel, Red True Crime. Thank you for joining me tonight. And support, support, support. Send me stars or diamonds or hearts or whatever it is that you guys do on TikTok, Facebook. I need to see those stars, baby. Keep sending them. And YouTube, subscribe, 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 please, because I'm so close to being where I can actually do some good with this channel. Because the more you share, the more you comment, the more you like, which does not cost anybody anything. The more you do these things, the algorithms put this information out, and more people, you know, can take some food for thought here and maybe enact some type of change in themselves, or maybe they'll see something on a case I'm talking about, the person that's missing, and they can bring them home. They might have seen something. I don't know. Anything is possible. So thank you again for you all for joining me tonight and for listening to me drone on. This is Rebecca with Red True Crime. Be weird, be rude, be safe. As I always say, because if you're weird and rude, they won't take you. I guarantee it. So have a wonderful night, safe weekend, and thank you again. Bye.